The Nordic island of Iceland, located close to the Arctic Circle and famous for its spectacular landscape, this summer provided a breathtaking setting for Racing the Planet's 2013 roving race.
Racing the Planet events are made up of primarily the Four Deserts, which is a series of 250 kilometers self-supported races over 7 days. They consist of the Atacama Crossing in Chile, the Sahara Race in Egypt, the Gobi March in China, and the Last Desert in Antarctica. In addition to the Four Desert series, we also have the roving race, which is a series on its own, a new race every year that takes place in a new location. This year we're in Iceland. This is our 6th roving race, and next year we'll be going to Madagascar.
On the first days of August, we saw 270 competitors from over 40 countries descend onto Iceland's shore to compete in one of the world's toughest adventure races.
Racing the Planet events are unique in what they do. They take people to challenge their physical and their mental boundaries, pushing them as far as they can go, taking them to beautiful and remote places around the world.
Set against the backdrop of geysers, volcanoes, waterfalls, glaciers and fjords, the racers battled with the elements in at times extreme conditions that would push body and mind to its limits.
Biggest fear will be how I'm going to cart this 11-kilo backpack around for the first few days till I've eaten half of the food.
It is important to be well prepared for an event such as this. Without the right preparation and equipment, safely completing the course becomes very difficult.
Looking at everyone's food and electrolytes to make sure that they have enough calories, enough energy per day, because it's going to be cold out and they're running hard and you need lots of calories to stay warm and stay strong. So making sure everyone's got at least 2,000 calories a day.
After the initial briefing and registration in the capital city of Reykjavik, the racers were brought to one of the country's most remote locations, from where they embarked upon an incredible 7-day, 250-kilometer journey across the Icelandic wilderness.
With something like 40 different nationalities, it occurred to me that there's probably never in human history have so many different nationalities been gathered in one place in Iceland before.
It's 7 o'clock, it's cold, it's windy, it's a little bit of rain. Feels like home! Feels like home!
Looking forward to the race, not the river crossing.
I tell everybody I'm doing this because it's inspirational, the people are amazing, and the scenery's fantastic, and Mary and Alistair put on a great race. The truth of the matter is my mother-in-law is visiting. I'd rather be here than spend an evening with her. Oh, don't show that.
I think what is interesting is the challenge, the mental challenge of doing these races. It's interesting, people talk about muscle memory. There's no such thing as muscle memory. Your muscles are broken down from the inside. The amino acids break down the structure. So every 30 days, you've got a new muscle. So nothing to do with muscle memory. The memory is all in here. And the memory is your willpower memory. So you can do amazing things by using that. And training the mind is probably the best way of training for these sort of races. We used to think that you hit the wall figuratively because of your muscles giving up. You ran out of glycogen, too much lactic acid, or whatever it was. And now we know probably it's a mental thing that you're going through. And if you just somehow achieve that mental balance where you can push through it, the body is an amazing organ that won't let you down.
Racing the Planet's roving race is broken into 6 stages. 4 stages with an average of 45 kilometers, 1 long stage of 64 kilometers, and a short stage of 10 kilometers, to bring the courageous competitors across the finish line.
We're here about to start the stage 1 on the first campsite. It's a little bit windy and colder than many of the competitors have expected, but I think once we get them going and moving, it should be okay.
Hoping for some warm Guatemalan-like weather, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Let me leave you with an inspirational quote from that famous English children's book, Winnie the Pooh. "What day is it?" asked Pooh. "It's today," squealed Piglet. "My favourite day," said Pooh.
The race began in extremely wet and windy conditions at a high altitude, This gave the competitors a feel of what lay ahead of them on this unique adventure.
I've never seen a glacier before. Well, I've never seen a glacier that big. It was incredible. It was just a really, really amazing thing to see. And then the countryside is incredibly barren. It's mental. It's really, really strange. I didn't really know what to expect when I came here, but I definitely didn't have this in my head. It looks like the scene from a Star Wars movie. It's just mental.
This extremely varied course led the racers through a wide range of terrain, from soft mossy trails to jagged lava cliffs.
It's been an interesting day. So we started off from our normal location, but ended up then having to cut the course short because of the weather. Howling winds, it was very strong winds. So we had competitors to come through checkpoint 4, and then from there we directed them to go a different route and brought them into this campsite over here. It's surrounded by fields and farmhouses, so it's a little bit different than we had in plan, but much better place in terms of the weather.
For every checkpoint, we have a physician. So that they're available to evaluate someone. And we have to think about environment, how that affects fatigue, how it affects medical issues like dehydration, hypothermia, potentially hyperthermia. It's challenging. I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere, and that's part of the allure of all of this.
To me, adventure racing is a challenge. It's going to places where I might go as a tourist, but I would not see the same sights. So in 1 week, you get to see some amazing places, you get to challenge yourself, and hopefully you get over the challenge.
Rain and wind? Yes, rain and wind. I thought, great day to run along the Arctic Ocean, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, it is, it's beautiful.
I am boiling eggs. So it's very traditional geothermic way to make food here in Iceland. So we're just providing this for competitors as they run past.
Coming.
It's good though.
It's been chilly. The biggest thing has been cold and hypothermia, which really plays on people because they're sluggish, they're tired, they're fatigued, don't want to eat as much, which then leads to breakdown over time.
A bit of a pain on your leg there, but we walk to the next checkpoint and we'll see what the experts say.
If you have a knee problem to start off with, you're on very uneven ground sometimes and the knees can give problems. But the worst problem is the feet and the blisters.
That's a good skinning. Just been leaking all the way. Right, we'll have to get a decent combi on that tonight.
People are coming out, they're running for long hours, day after day after day, and there's a cumulative effect on the skin and the musculoskeletal system. And athletes will try and tape their blisters as much as they can, but you're getting sand and dirt in your shoes, and that makes it really difficult.
So we're on the edge of a large lava tube. It's about 400 meters long. It's very, very dark inside, and the floor is incredibly uneven. So we have multiple of the ISAR, Icelandic Search and Rescue Group, which are all ladies actually, some badass ladies who are stretched out inside, and we're having the people go through gingerly.
That trail was beautiful this morning.
Scenery was gorgeous today. Weather was beautiful. It was definitely the sunny summer Icelandic day I wanted to see.
There is a saying in Iceland, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. This year proved to be one of the toughest races to date, with the harsh weather being the biggest challenge for the competitors.
The course today, which I think is satisfying, but we're all hurting. Like Rory's in there with bad ankles, John's got a bad Achilles, and my feet are in shreds. Today I think that was tough for a lot of people. It's freaking exhausted, I think.
When you're really down, you go to your secret place, you go to your special place. Special place is usually somewhere which you love, you enjoy. It could be nature. Most people sort of have a favourite run or a favourite place. And once they're in that place, then they can walk or they can run, just keeping an image of that place. And that's the booster.
This is tough. Make no mistake. Sleep deprivation plus 250 kilometres is going to break a man.
Keep moving, one foot in front of the other. That's all we got.
Everyone's coming in from the cold now, so at the end of the long stage, they've done a fantastic job in very, very difficult conditions, but everyone's in good heart.
Racing the Planet, Iceland, 2013, concluded at the famous Blue Lagoon, with 226 competitors crossing the finishing line. With Mo Fustok from Saudi Arabia finishing first in the overall competition. American Leah Farley won the overall women's race, and Team Bold Poppy from Ireland came first in the team category.